What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another post-game show by Mill. The Knicks won tonight against the Orlando Magic, 98-74. Fun fact, that's the fewest points that an NBA team has been held to this season. Any game this season, that's the fewest points we've held them a team to, and then any NBA team has held a team to. So that can straight up tell you what this game was all about. It was all about defense. We played really great, tenacious defense tonight, and that's what won the game. Holding a team to only 74 points is a huge accomplishment, and especially against this Magic team who was on a 5-game win streak. They had the momentum to win another one, and to continue playing as well as they've been, but we held it down. Defensively, a lot of guys stepped up with blocks, with steals, forcing turnovers, and just playing really good perimeter defense as well. And it was a really gritty win. It did get chippy at times, but ultimately the Knicks took the win, and I'm really glad they were able to bounce back from the loss against the Hawks, which I actually got to see in person. It was not fun watching the Knicks brick so many shots in person. And I honestly thought in that Hawks game that we did tie up the game at one point in the second half, but that we just let them pull away again, and we couldn't hit any shots really in that fourth quarter when it mattered. So I'm glad the Knicks bounced back after that tough loss, and we had Brunson back. Brunson's back. He missed the last game. I believe he missed the last two, right? And he's back, and he had a pretty big game as well. Started off really amazing too. He ended up with 26 points. He was 4 for 7 from the three-point line, 11 for 19 from the field. Along with his 26 points, he had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and yeah, it's pretty much his stat line right there. But he started off the game shooting really, really well. I honestly thought he was going to go for 40 just the way he was shooting. He had a quick 10 points in that first quarter. And yeah, I just thought he was going to end up with a 40-point game. But, he cooled off a little bit, and he wasn't taking that many shots later on. But, still, huge game for him. Definitely led to this win. Also, shout out Josh Hart, who continues to do his thing. I had to tweet about it on X, and I just had to say, second half of the season, Josh Hart is a real thing. It has to be a real thing because Josh Hart in the second half of the season is unbelievable, unreal. We saw it. We saw it when he first got traded to the Knicks last year. Around this time, he was performing as he is right now. Incredible with rebounding, scoring, and his shooting percentages. They've been really, really good. Let's see. Tonight, he was 8 for 12 from the field. That's super efficient right there. 3 for 5 from the three-point line. I love that because earlier in the season, we know Hart was in a huge shooting slump, especially behind the three-point line. He could not get a three-pointer to go some games, and he was always hesitant to shoot it, but that's not the case anymore. He's super confident now, and he's taking a lot more shots, and I honestly love it. I honestly love him getting more involved in the offense, especially because we're still down players. We're still down our big weapons, OG Randall, who should be coming back soon, guys. Don't know. I mean, we've been getting a lot of great updates from the medical staff that OG's been cleared to play, I believe, 5-on-5 now. So he is progressing really, really well with his elbow injury and how he had to have surgery. He's progressing. And honestly, we might be expecting him back maybe next week. I want to say we could get him back next week, maybe the next two, but we'll see. And Randall as well, he's making progress. I don't believe there's any updates specifically today, but we've been seeing everything between the videos of him working out. He's also warmed up before. I've seen videos of him warming up with the team. Either it wasn't last game because I was at the last game in person. He didn't warm up, but prior games we've seen him warming up, and he looks ready. His shot is there. He's shooting. It looks like he's straight on with his shot. The only thing I am worried about is just the contact and how he's going to handle all of that when he comes back. It's difficult because, he didn't take the surgery, so there's always the possibility that he could re-injure himself, and I don't want to say that will happen at all because I don't want that to, but he has to take caution. He has to be careful with all that, and I honestly wonder if it'll affect his game when he comes back, if he's going to be as aggressive as he was before, because we know Julius Randle is an extremely aggressive player. It's part of his playing style is that he will bulldoze everyone through the paint to get to the hoop. And I'm curious if, he'll calm down a little bit from that style of play and take more jump shots, take more three-pointers, because the last thing he wants to do is dislocate his shoulder again or re-injure himself right before the playoffs. That's the last thing that he wants to happen. But other than that, speaking of Hart, continues to be incredible. And let's see. Oh, also shout out Precious Achiuwa, man. I just made a video about him saying where's his haters at now, because so many different fan bases have called out Precious Achiuwa. And when we first got him, they told us like he's a bum. That's basically what they said. This guy's not a bum. Tonight he had 15 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 5 blocks. That is not bum behavior, guys. I mean, if that's a bum performance, like that blows my mind right there. That he's had so many haters before, and I'm really glad I never doubted him, because I know the first 10 games he came here and put on that Knick uniform, it was questionable. I know he wasn't really scoring or really doing anything, but we just had to give him time to warm up and to settle into his role. And I also think that when OG and Randall went down, when he got more minutes, that helped him find more confidence in being able to play. Because, the first 10 games, OG was there, Randall was there. When they went down, obviously his minutes have spiked. I mean, he's been playing 40 minutes every game since those two have went down. But he's being able to produce in those 40 minutes. I mean, this is a crazy stat line tonight. The double-double with the 15 points, the 14 rebounds. But it's the D that I'm probably the most impressed with. The 5 blocks. Did we ever think that when we got Precious in that trade, that he would be the guy to be putting up a double-double and including 5 blocks, 4 assists, and 2 steals? No, I don't think any of us really thought that at all, especially because Raptors fans and Heat fans told us otherwise. They told us he's not going to do anything on our team. And it's just another bum that we got. But they were wrong. Completely, completely wrong. Precious has been incredible for us ever, after the few games that he was settling in. He's been great. And, I can't emphasize it enough how lucky we are to have him, because he's truly been an unsung hero for this team. Ever since OG and Randall went down, we've needed guys to step up, and Precious has been doing that. And, silently he does it. He does it some nights. We might not always hear people talk about him in the post game, but he'll always pretty much grab 10 rebounds a game. Maybe not always 10 points, but somewhere around there. And he's always trying to play his best defense. I love the defender that he is. And it's funny because a lot of people say that he is what we wanted Obi Toppin to be. And it's funny because I was a huge Obi Toppin fan. And sure, we definitely wanted Obi Toppin's defense to be like how Precious's defense is. 100% that's what we wanted, because, yeah, Obi's defense was suspect. It was not that great, especially for a power forward and someone at his length and size. Not great defense. But Precious Achiuwa, on the other hand, is a complete opposite. His defense is impressive. But guys, Obi Toppin in 40 minutes, look up those stats right there, because I know a lot of people will say that he's what we wanted Obi to be. Obi in 40 minutes would still give you some points, okay? He's 20 plus points in 40 minutes. But anyways, moving on. Let's see. So DiVincenzo tonight had 11 points in 42 minutes. He struggled a little bit from the field and from the three-point line. He was 3 for 10 from the three-point line, so he only shot 30%, and from the field he was 3 for 13. So he definitely struggled tonight, but, and he contributed in other ways. I mean, look, he had 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. Doesn't matter if a guy is struggling to shoot from the field or from the three-point line. They can always step up in other ways, and that's what DiVincenzo did tonight. And that's what led to the win. This was a gritty, hard-fought win. There was a lot of times in this game where players would go falling on the ground. I mean, multiple times I saw Brunson on the floor. So many times he did not get the foul call tonight. I didn't understand it. I'm pretty sure we saw Brunson hit the floor 10 times tonight. It was insane. Every time he hit the floor, no call. No call at all. And I'm just wondering, how many more times does this guy have to fall on the ground for them to get a foul call? And I'm sure he was wondering the same thing, because it kept happening over and over. No foul call. Let's see how many free throws he shot tonight. I'm really curious. he didn't shoot any free throws. That's insane. I thought he at least got like 2 or 4 up earlier in the game, because that's insane. Brunson did not shoot any free throws. Where's his respect? Do the refs know who Jalen Brunson is? I mean, this dude is most of Brunson's game is driving to the hoop and putting up his floaters, all of that. He is supposed to draw contact. He does draw contact. I don't know what the refs were. They were practically blind out there if they're not seeing him drawing all that contact and falling on the ground multiple times. Can't believe he didn't shoot any free throws tonight. But hey, he still got 26 points, and he still had a huge game and got the win. So, even though the refs tried, they couldn't stop him. That proves right there he doesn't need the free throws. He can still shoot the 3 ball. He can still get his shots in without getting the foul call. Cam from the kickback said, salute Mill and BKE fam. Big dub tonight. Team win against a team that they thought had our number. I'm really glad to see this one. Me too. I'm really happy we got this win, and we actually reclaimed the 4th seed with this win. I forgot to announce that. We have the 4th seed again. Super happy about that, because we know the Orlando Magic recently took our spot. We were in the 4th seed for a while, and then Orlando won some games. They got the 4th seed, and now we just reclaimed it because we beat them. So it feels good to be back in the 4th seed. Let's take a look at the standings right here. So number 1 is the Celtics, of course. The Bucks, number 2. Cavs, number 3. And the Knicks are number 4. And Magic are number 5, obviously. I still want to somehow chase that 3rd seed. I don't know how. I really don't. But I would love to chase that 3rd seed, just because I believe if we get 3rd, we can avoid Boston until the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals at least. I mean, it's going to be tough, though, because Cleveland is their 3 games. They have 3 more wins and 4 less losses. So it's tough. We are an injured team. So to get consecutive wins, that's a big task. That's a big battle. But if we're 4th, we will face the Magic in the playoffs, which honestly, I know that prior to this game, we had lost 3 games to them. And that did concern me a little bit. But tonight, after watching tonight's game, honestly, I would like to take them in the playoffs. If it comes to that, and we're still the 4th seed and they're the 5th seed, I think I'd be up for the challenge. I think I'd honestly be up for it, because if you look back on the games that we lost against them earlier in the season, the first one was when we still had RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly. I just want to scrap that game out, because that was a whole different team right there. And the second one, we didn't have Brunson. I'm not sure about the other one. I think, each game has been different with a different team. But tonight, the Knicks blew this team out. I know they didn't have Suggs. They didn't have Jalen Suggs, who was a big impact player for them, honestly. And we didn't have OG. We didn't have Randall. We didn't have Mitch. So the way we blew them out tonight makes me think that we could honestly take them on in the playoffs. And it would be a good matchup. It would honestly be a good matchup. They're a good team, a good young team. Banchero is super impressive, but I like the way we defended him tonight, honestly. This is probably like the first game, obviously, of the season. We've played them 4 times now that we've been able to contain him pretty much. I mean, he still put up 23 points. He was 9 for 20 from the field, but I felt like he was pretty much contained. Oh, as well as the Wagner brothers. Let's see. Franz Wagner had 13 points. So, yeah, he was contained. 6 for 20 from the field for him. Oof, he was struggling. That's also a big reason why we won tonight. I mean, 6 for 20 from the field for Wagner and 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. Good defense right there. Great defense right there. And let's check out the other Wagner brother. I mean, he only played 12 minutes. He only took 2 shots, but still, the defense tonight was super impressive, and I want to see it. I want to see it every night, continuing to be like this, because ever since OG went down, I feel like our defense has been questionable, and it hasn't been the same as when he was in this lineup. And I just haven't seen too many games like this where I can say that I'm proud of our defense and that we're a good defensive team. But tonight, this is definitely one of those games where I really liked what I saw, and this was a win where it took the defense to do that. It took 5 blocks from Precious Achiuwa. Let's see, the steals from DiVincenzo. Who else grabbed some steals? Oh, and 3 blocks from Hartenstein. I forgot to shout out him in the starting lineup, but shout out Isaiah Hartenstein, who had 5 points, 3 blocks, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists, 1 steal. I mean, a complete stat line right there. He pretty much did a little bit of everything. I love that. But yeah, really great defensive win here. 5 blocks from Achiuwa, 3 blocks from Hartenstein, 2 steals from Achiuwa, 1 steal from Hartenstein, 2 steals from DiVincenzo, and 2 steals from McBride. So a lot of guys stepped up tonight on the defensive end to make this happen. And it's games like this where it makes me think we don't just need OG to play defense. We need everyone. We need everyone to do it. And tonight, everyone did do it. I know OG, when he's in the lineup, our defensive rating is up there in the league, one of the best in the league. But ever since he's went down, not the same story. But I like what I saw tonight, and it gives me hope that until OG comes back, that we could play similar to how we did tonight. Moving on to the bench, though. Let's take a look at the bench. Bogdanovic had 6 points. He was 2 for 6 from the field, 1 for 3 from the three-point line. Didn't play too many minutes, honestly. He only played 12 minutes. So the starters pretty much played a good majority of the game. And Sims played 28 minutes, so he did play a majority of the game as well. Only 2 points. McBride, I continue to be impressed by McBride, and I think he is outshowing a lot of people who underestimated him, including me, honestly. At a certain point, I think after we traded quickly, I wondered, could he actually be up for this? Could he actually be our backup point guard? And he's proving people wrong. Tonight he had 14 points. He was 5 for 7 from the field, 3 for 3 from the three-point line. And along with the offense, it was the defense that was all there. I mean, I mentioned it before. He had 2 steals. He only had 1 assist, 3 rebounds, but he's just a pest on the defensive end. I mean, it is. I feel bad for people that have McBride guarding them, because he's just a complete menace on the defensive end, and he really pressures them. I mean, he's always the fastest guy on the court there. He's going to run up the court with you. Like, if you're trying to race up the court against McBride, you're not going to win that. He's going to race up with you and be right side by side by you. And salute to Almighty. Thank you for being in the chat. He said, smoking that magic pack. Pretty much. We blew them out. Almighty also said, I think OG will come back against the Sixers. Yeah. Do you think Sunday or Tuesday? Because honestly, I don't think it will be next game, which is on Sunday against the Sixers. So I assume you mean Tuesday. I think he'll be back next week as well. They said he's been making great progress. He's playing 5-on-5 now, which is huge. That's really, really huge. And he should be back, honestly, any day. So, you're right. He might come back Tuesday. Cam said, I know it's going to be a stretch, but if we can keep Hart and Precious next year, our depth will be amazing 1-9. I really, really hope we can find a way to do that, Cam, because Hartenstein has been incredible filling in the role for Mitch, obviously. As soon as Mitch went down, he was huge trying to fill that role, and he's been successful at it. I mean, he's a great backup center who's now a starting center, and you couldn't ask for someone better to fill in that role. He really has been great between rebounding, the defensive presence of him, and the points. Not every game he'll have a big offensive game, but there's some games where he'll have 10 plus points or around 10 points, and he's able to score the ball. He can actually lay it up. He has a little bit of an offensive bag, I'll say. Brian said, good team win. I think Brunson is a true warrior for being out there this soon. Yeah, he definitely is. They said he was good to go, and I'm glad he was, because I didn't think we'd be able to win tonight if he wasn't playing, because we were 0-3 against the Magic this season. And to me, I almost thought tonight was going to be another L if he didn't play, but he did play, and it was huge because he just started off the game really, really well, shooting-wise. He had a quick 10 points, big first quarter for him, and also huge first quarter for the Knicks in general. From the three-point line, they shot really well, and that pretty much set the tone for the game. I always love when we're able to start the game really well, because it's just better than to fall behind and to fall behind and have the other team have a big lead against you and pull away, because you don't want to play catch up the entire game. You don't want to do that at all. I hate when we have games where we have to do that. It's so frustrating because every time we try to make a comeback, we're getting closer and closer, and then we just can't do it. That's what happens. Oh, and then in the fourth quarter, they make a comeback finally, but it's just doesn't end up working out, and it ends up being that we're playing catch up the entire game. Cam said, "iHeart got to be humble and not demand too much money." Honestly, I don't know. He's definitely a starting center in this league, like a really good one too. I mean, he can do it all, and I wouldn't be surprised if another team is willing to offer him the money that he wants. If he takes it though, that's up to him if he wants to stay in New York or not. Hopefully we're able to give him some money. I mean, this dude has been great for us. Even last season, this season, he's been great. We should find a way to be able to pay him more than what he is getting right now. Cam also said Precious is the backup to Randall we've been looking for. I know, Cam. Honestly, I was saying it earlier. I've seen a lot of people say that Precious is who we wanted Obi Toppin to be. And I think it's funny because they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all, because Precious on the defensive end is nothing like Obi Toppin. I mean, Precious is just great on the defensive end. He plays tenacious D, hard, and it's suffocating for him there, and it's not Obi Toppin at all what he did. Unfortunately, like I was a huge Toppin fan when he was on the Knicks, but his defense was suffering and it was struggling. So Precious has been a real upgrade. And, you're basically right. He's the backup we wanted. And a lot of people have also been saying that when it comes to playoff time, his minutes will obviously be cut and they'll go down because Randall's going to be back and it's going to be hard. Precious is not going to play. He's not going to play 40 minutes a game in the playoffs. He's not, because we'll have our healthy starters in. So it kind of sucks in that part because he's been playing so well. I hope they could find a way to just continue to give him consistent minutes when we get back all our healthy starters. If it's anyone I want from the bench getting big minutes or consistent minutes, it's him. It's him between Bogdanovich, Sims, Burks. I mean, I also want him and McBride pretty much to be getting those bench minutes, but the big minutes. Brian said we're both gonna keep both. I think Achiuwa is who the organization will take if we had to pick between iHeart and Achiuwa. It'll suck if it comes down to that where we have to just choose one. But ultimately, I might think you're wrong on that. Not wrong, but might be a wrong prediction if they choose Achiuwa over iHeart, because Achiuwa is great, but technically we already have a forward in Randall. Randall's our full-time forward, and he will be playing majority of the game, almost every game when he's healthy. But iHeart, on the other hand, I don't want to get into it, but I mean, there's been a lot of going back and forth between iHeart and Mitch, and people continue to say that Mitch is injury prone and all that. So if the organization were to choose, I honestly think they would choose iHeart to go with and maybe send Mitch out somewhere to get back someone in return. Don't know who. I think it'd have to be someone big though, because Mitch is Mitch. So he'd be a part of a bigger package. Brian said Obi was never going to be Achiuwa. He can guard 2 to 5, and he can dive in the basket and get easy layups and dunks. Obi is a good shooter, but that's about it. Yeah, pretty much you said it right, Brian. He can guard 2 to 5. I mean, he's technically a forward, but we've been seeing him guard a lot of centers, and he can also just play center in general. We've seen him do that sometimes. I love his defense. I can't emphasize it enough. I mean, just watching it is like, it brings joy to my eyes. Watching him get 5 blocks a game and watching him block every possession. I mean, I love it. And you're right. Obi was a good shooter, but that's pretty much it. That was pretty much what he would do. I mean, he would take threes. He wouldn't really do much out of that. And I'm saying that as an Obi Toppin fan from the Knicks, guys. Like, I was a fan of him. Bagman said, the heart of NYC. He is him. Shout out to Josh Hart. The hustle and aggression is motivating. He is literally the heart of NYC. I'm not convinced Josh Hart did not grow up and I'm like, are we sure Josh Hart is not from NYC and he didn't grow up here? Because this dude has literally the heart of a New Yorker, the hustle of a New Yorker, like I've ever seen before. I mean, it's insane the way he hustles every single game to get a rebound, to get a loose ball, to whatever it is. It's just hustle. It's pure hustle. And, he just he embodies what New York is all about and what New York hustle and heart is. Pretty much him. That's it. And I love what I've been seeing. At 6'4", he's incredible. I mean, the other night he had 19 rebounds. 19 rebounds at 6'4". There has to be a record on that. Jason B said, when is Big Mitch back? I don't think they have declared a specific date yet, or I don't think they've even said like a few weeks, but I am going to assume a few weeks because he's been making a lot of progress. And I don't think they've given a lot of information about his specific injury, because remember that this was an injury where they said he was going to be out for the rest of the season and that, he was getting season-ending surgery. So I think they really are taking it maybe a little bit slower on his end to see what he's able to do. And they just don't want to say anything yet that he's coming back this date. But I'm sure he's coming back in a few weeks. We've gotten more updates on OG and Randall, though. MODOK, go New York, go New York, go New York, go. You're right, we're playing that song. We're not playing the Orlando Magic song. No, guys, I know it's catchy, and maybe I have it in my head right now. No, we're not going to play it. We're playing Go New York, Go New York, Go. That's the song, okay? I'm going to admit, the Orlando Magic song is catchy. Brian said, do you guys think when still healthy we can get to a conference finals? I don't know if we're going to play the same as we did when we were healthy. I hope so, but that's a hard level to get to before playoff time. Yeah, that's one thing that I've wondered about too, Brian, is that I do think we can get to a conference finals. I mean, this team is built to get there with how deep we are, with the weapons that we have in our team. We're built to get there, but the only thing is, can we develop that team chemistry and that level of play before the playoffs come? Because if you think about it, Julius Randle, OG Anunoby have not played with Alec Burks or Bojan Bogdanovic yet. They're still, I mean, OG's now playing with them, I believe. He's playing 5-on-5, but still, it's a whole different ballgame when they're actually going to be in a game together and they need to understand each other as players, understand each other's style of play. So it does concern me a little bit that parts of this team don't know each other yet, and that we don't have a lot of time before the playoffs start for the magic to happen, for us to click, and for us to get in a good groove. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned about that, because it's also like a lot of people say, as soon as we get OG and Randall, things are fine and that we're going to get wins. We're just going to get wins, and we'll if we drop down the seed, let's say the 6th or 7th, we'll get back up. we don't know that for sure. We don't know for sure that we're just going to automatically get wins. Of course, it'll be great to have them back healthy, but still, team chemistry is a huge thing. And we don't know how these players will play after the injuries they've been dealing with. Randall, we saw how he came back from injury with the ankle surgery in the summer. He came back, and the first 15 games were not great. We all know that those weren't great, and that's why I honestly think the sooner that they can come back, the better, because we do not want Randall to come back and for him to go on a 15-game stretch where his shooting percentages are really off and his game is just off. Same for OG. We don't know how he's going to be when he comes back. His injury was an elbow. It was an elbow injury, so I'm concerned a little bit just about his shooting. But, I trust the medical team that they're doing the best that they can. And hopefully we can get them back literally next week or within the next 2 weeks. The sooner the better. We need this team to be healthy and to be able to get to know each other before the playoffs start. Almighty said, I got us going to the finals fully healthy. I agree, because when we first made the trade for Bogdanovic and Burks, look at the way this team is built. We're built for the finals. Look at this team. I mean, we have so many weapons. We have Jalen Brunson, who was our star. He's our star. I don't care if you think he's a short player. He's our star. And we have Julius Randle, who is our All-NBA guy, who is our second scoring option that will still give you 25 a game and 10 rebounds. Isaiah Hartenstein / Mitchell Robinson, they're both really, really great centers. I don't know if Isaiah Hartenstein would start in the playoffs or Mitch would. I think it depends on when Mitch comes back and from his injury. But still, huge weapons. OG, best defender on the team. I mean, we have so many weapons, and then you look at the bench. Oh, I mean, I have to point out Dante DiVincenzo too, the big ragu. I honestly think he's so underrated. I know he doesn't always have a 20-point game or 25-point game where he'll shoot lights out, but he's had a lot of those this season where he's been shooting unbelievably from the three-point line. And actually, I want to congratulate him tonight. He hit his 200th three-pointer on the season as a New York Knick. He is rising up there, and I believe he's going to break the record that Fournier set. I think his was 241. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's somewhere around there, 240 something. So he has to hit 40 more threes to break that record, because we can't have Fournier with that. I respect for Fournier for breaking that record, John Stark's record, but we need someone else to be up there and break it. DiVincenzo is the perfect guy. Perfect. He with the rate he's going, shooting threes this season, he's gonna hit it for sure. And yeah, going back to what you said, I got us going to the finals. I agree. I just think that we have so many weapons on this team between the starters and the bench. We probably have the deepest bench, just with Bogdanovic. I don't want to say Burks just because he hasn't been the best. He hasn't been great. So I'm going to leave Burks out of it. But McBride, Precious, Sims. I mean, Bogdanovic is a guy who was scoring 20 plus before he got here. So we have an automatic 20 plus point scorer coming off the bench. Not a lot of teams can say they have that. I know he hasn't been putting 20 points on the floor every night, but still, he has that in him. He did it in Detroit. I mean, if we can see it again. Let's see. Almighty said, I think iHeart will start in the playoffs. I agree, because, well, I said I think it depends on when Mitch comes back, because I think if Mitch comes back, let's say 10, I don't think he can, let's say 10 games before the season ends, and he plays all those 10 games, and he's back into rhythm, he might just start in the playoffs. But if he is not back before the season ends, or if he's back 5 games before the season ends, that's not enough games to get into rhythm and to feel like he can be in that starting center position again. I mean, iHeart has been incredible filling in that role in that spot. So, why mess it up truly if it's going good? If you put Mitch with the bench unit, that's deadly too. That's, it's a possibility. I think I would rather Hart start in the playoffs, maybe the first few games, and just because he's already been playing with the starters for half the season. Nick's Realist said, "Hey, what's up, Nick's Realist? Thank you for tuning into the postgame show and welcome to the chat." I mean, pretty much I was just speaking on all the comments, but to start the postgame stream, I was talking about the defense of this game. I really, really love to see it. This was a defensive win. I mean, we haven't seen too many games recently where we actually played good defense, and tonight we saw all of that. Precious Achiuwa with 5 blocks, incredible. DiVincenzo 2 steals, McBride 2 steals, and Hartenstein 3 blocks. Very, very gritty, and I know that it got chippy many times throughout the game, and Anthony Black did tend to annoy me. I'm not gonna lie, he got on my nerves tonight. The way it looked like he was trying to purposely injure Brunson a few times. You guys can't tell me I'm wrong because there's video footage of it. Go look back. I mean, it kind of just looks like he trips Brunson a little bit. And then there was a second time where something else happened. So, I mean, Anthony Black, I'm not going to go down on you as a player, but why are you trying to injure Brunson? Don't do that. Don't do that because we've already dealt with all the injuries. I mean, actually, they had 2 guys go down tonight. I think it was Cole Anthony, and I forgot who the second one was. I think Cole Anthony came back on the court, but they were dropping like flies at the end of the game. Sheesh, I got a little scared because we've dealt with too many injuries this season already. I'm not trying to deal with any more. Yeah, and it was really funny, guys, because you know how we pretty much had a 20-point lead in that fourth quarter. Brunson came back midway through that fourth quarter, and I don't know why he did. I really don't. I tweeted on X saying that in the beginning of the fourth, when we still had a 20-point lead, I said, if Brunson comes back in this game, Knicks Twitter is going to go wild. And I'm pretty sure they did. I haven't really checked Twitter since the game ended, but why did Brunson come back in the game? I'm just wondering. We didn't blow the lead at all. It was pretty consistently 20 points in the entire fourth quarter. I really don't know why he went back in the game, and I don't know. It just kind of scares me. Why do we have Brunson out there late in the fourth quarter when this is an Orlando Magic team who has been aggressive towards him all night and, almost injuring him? He's fallen down so many times. I personally, if I was Tibbs, I just would have let him sat that entire fourth quarter. Nick's Realist said Precious been amazing. He has been. I'm super impressed by Precious. Honestly, unsung hero. And it's the defense that really impresses me. Like, he did put up 15 points, but it's the defense that I love to see from a guy who's supposed to be a role player, a guy who's supposed to come off the bench and get like 15 minutes a game. He's just doing insane, playing insane defense. I know he plays 40 minutes a night, so there's that he's getting a lot of minutes and he's able to produce in a large amount of minutes, but still, some guys in 40 minutes, they won't do that. You guys ever saw the Tony Snell, graphic where he had like 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, all of that? Some guys, they can't do it, but that's not true for Precious. Jason B said, let's say we lose to Boston in the conference finals. Is there anything we could realistically do to be better than them next season? Well, I mean, that's a really good question because I haven't thought about that yet. Like, I think we're all scared to face Boston. I mean, I won't speak for everyone, but I'm a little concerned to face Boston. We haven't won against them this season. But again, every time we played them this season, it's been for multiple reasons that we've lost, whether that be we had a very completely different team, a team with RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, or we didn't have Randall. We didn't have Brunson. It's something with every game, but still, Boston's number one in the Eastern Conference. They're number one for a reason. I'm sure everyone in the Eastern Conference is scared of them and doesn't want to face them, so they're trying to avoid them. But is there anything we could do to be better than them next season? The only thing I can really think of is to get another star. That's what I'm thinking of straight up, is to get another star. I mean, Brunson to me is a star. Randall is a star. But if we want to beat a team like Boston, look how many stars they have between Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Derek White. They have a lot of big weapons on that team. So I guess I would say to get another star. Donovan Mitchell, if you're watching this, no, I'm just kidding. But I'm not gonna get into the Donovan Mitchell thing. We're halfway past the season. I'm not gonna get into that. Almighty said, I'm not scared of Boston. Boston hasn't seen us fully healthy. That's true. That's very true, Almighty. They have not seen a fully healthy team. We have also not seen a fully healthy team. So I do think a fully healthy Knicks team that has played games together, because again, let's say this team finally gets healthy, but I think OG's coming back next week, so scratch that. Yeah, I do think that fully healthy, we're scary. We're very deep. Can we beat Boston? I think that we could get a game or two in the series. I'm just not sure. I mean, Boston seems like they're determined to win the chip this season. It's funny because they did lose the game against the Nuggets recently, and Nuggets are probably gonna repeat. But anyways, I think we do have a chance to take them on if it comes to that in the Eastern Conference Finals. Brian said, we are not better than Boston, but we can compete. Exactly. We're not better than them. They have a lot of weapons, but we can compete. I do believe that a healthy Knicks team can compete with them. It would be a very interesting series. Garden, it'd be from Madison Square Garden to TD Garden. Fans would be going crazy. Let's see. Brian also said, if we hypothetically get in a conference finals against Boston, we will lose in 5. Well, I mean, I just I hate to think about that specifically, versing the Celtics in the conference finals, because it's hard. It's hard for us to talk about that matchup when we haven't seen a fully healthy Knicks team and we haven't seen a Knicks team beat the Celtics this season. I can't be out here saying I'm confident and saying we're going to beat them or stuff like that. That's not the case right now. I need our team to get healthy, and we don't play the Celtics again this season, do we? I don't think we do. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows if we play the Celtics again. Because if we do, I think that'd be the 6th time. I think we've played them 5 or 4 times this season already. But Brian, you said it. We're not better than them, but we can compete against them for sure. Oh, Almighty said we play them in April. Okay, that game is literally going to be the biggest game for us. I think the biggest test, because at that point we should have a healthy Knicks squad. We should have OG back. We should have Randall. Not 100% sure about Mitch, but yeah, let's say we get everyone back. That'll be a huge, huge game. And the ultimate test to see if we can finally beat them once this season, because we're 3-0. We 3 or 4-0 against them this season. It's not looking too good. April 11th. Ooh, set the date. Set the date, because we are going to be watching out for that. Even if they lose, though, even if the Knicks lose, but it's a super, super close game, very competitive, and I like what I see. despite the loss, I'm still going to count us in a matchup against the Celtics. The first game we played against them this season was a very close game. I believe we only lost by a few points. So the other games that wasn't necessarily the case, but I'm looking forward to April 11th to see that game. And Almighty also mentioned it's in Boston, which sucks because, man, that Boston crowd is different. Those fans are super passionate. I mean, they're just like Knicks fans, but I think their pride and their fandom is really up there just because they're a very successful franchise. And recently they've been getting to the finals. They've been getting deep in the playoffs, so they have stuff to look forward to. Every year they show up for their team. Jason B said, I wouldn't be surprised if Mitch didn't return this year. I think he will return. I'm just not sure if he'll return before the season's over. I mean, I think he'll return in April, honestly. Not this month. We haven't been getting too many updates on him on a timeline, but he looks good. If you guys have seen pictures, videos of him, I believe he's been working out in the Knicks facility. If you guys know, Mitch is on TikTok a lot. He posts TikToks all the time, and I've seen TikToks where he's in a Knicks facility in the background, whether it's I think he's like weightlifting. I'm not sure 100% what room he's in, but he's in the facility. He's doing something, working out, rehabbing. So I do think he will return maybe in April, but not this month. Almighty, though, thinks he will return late of this month. He'll return late March. I don't think I've gotten enough information on him yet from the medical staff or reporters. And the Knicks realist said, I think he will return. Hopefully, because Mitch, I mean, if you guys remember Mitch before he went down, he was incredible, an incredible defensive center, leading the league in offensive boards. It looked like he was going to possibly contend for a defensive player of the year season, honestly. I mean, I know it wasn't a lot of games to go off of, but he just started so well, and he was an anchor on the defensive end for us in those first games that he played. I don't remember when he got injured. Was it 15 games in? Somewhere around that. Brian said Devo and his outside shooting is going to be key come playoff time. You can tell he learned a lot from his time in Golden State. It'll be huge. It'll be so huge because we all know that last year's playoff series against Miami Heat, none of our shooters showed up. I mean, it was pretty much Brunson carrying this team, having to score 30 plus a game for the Knicks. And it's just he didn't really have much help. And it's not just Julius Randle to put the blame on. It's everyone else who didn't show up, between Grimes, who couldn't shoot, Quickly, who couldn't shoot. I think Quickly got hurt, though. I mean, even Josh Hart, he kind of struggled shooting-wise in the Miami Heat series, and a lot of guys, he couldn't depend on anyone to shoot. But this time, he has a guy right by his side, DiVincenzo, who was his former college teammate, that he should have a lot of trust in to swing it out there when he needs to, and for Devo to hit that. I think that I'm actually so excited for this year's playoffs. I know we're going to make it. We're in the 4th seed right now. I know we're going to make it, but to finally have these weapons, to finally have a guy like DiVincenzo in our corner who will hit that shot. We didn't really have that. Someone you could really count on. And even if he doesn't hit the shot, we have other weapons. We have OG, who before he got injured was lethal, so lethal from the left corner. I believe he was shooting 50% from that left corner before he went down. Don't underestimate the guys we got. Brian said, I don't think Mitch will return this season either. I definitely get those vibes. I could understand where you guys are coming from. We haven't gotten much information on him or videos or pictures of seeing him play basketball, but we'll see. I think he comes back April. Almighty says, yo, what's up with Anthony Black? He was tight. I don't know what was going on with him. I mean, he was playing really, really aggressive D all night. on Brunson. And to me, it was just a little too much. It was just a little too much because there was a clip where he looked like he was trying to trip Brunson. And just, I think I missed some stuff too. I missed a part of the game. Someone messaged me though that he got up all in Brunson's face. I don't know if that's true. Or there was just a lot of tension there. So I don't know what's going on with him. But Brunson showed out tonight, even though he didn't get a single free throw, guys. Yeah, Brunson didn't get a single free throw. He still showed out tonight, 26 points. Anthony tried his best. He tried his best to defend Brunson, but it's hard. It's a hard task to defend Jalen Brunson. People got to understand that. He's not your typical player. He's a star. Almighty said OG can create his own shots too. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm also excited for. Like I was so pissed when OG went down with his injury, because he was doing really, really well. Really, really well. And he was exploring his offensive side, creating shots for himself. I just wanted to see more of that. And then he got hurt. And now it's been like a month since we've seen him play, maybe a little bit more. So I'm excited to finally get back to seeing OG play. Randall, I miss Randall. I miss Randall a lot because he is just a huge part of this team. I know that a lot of people, me too, have gone down on Randall before for his performances, whether that be in the playoffs or in the regular season when he's not hustling, whatever. We miss Randall, okay? We miss him. We want him back. Huge part of this team. As much as I think Brunson is a star, he needs help as well. He needs help. Every star needs help. Even if you're the best player ever, you still need help. I mean, it makes me go back and think of Carmelo Anthony, how he did not receive much help at all. And Brunson needs help. He needs his guys, so he needs Randall. And hopefully he's coming back soon. Brian said, OG got to be wide open. Devo is a catch and let it fly kind of guy, and he is sneaky good at getting to the lane if you close out hard. OG is a good corner specialist offensively. Yep. Yeah, pretty much everything you said. Very, very accurate. And he's sneaky good at getting to the lane. Pretty much. And I just love the fact that we have the options. We have the options between them. And even Bogdanovic, who, is a pretty good three-point shooter as well. We have so many options. And if you look at the team that we were in the playoffs last year and you look at us now, obviously we're not in the playoffs yet. We've got some time till then. But look at the rosters that we're going in the playoffs with. So different. So different. Let's see. But besides that, I pretty much spoke about everyone in the starting lineup, and from the bench. I mean, didn't speak about Alec Burks because I don't want to. Yeah, he played 5 minutes tonight. He didn't play a lot of minutes. He was 0 for 2 and 0. He missed 1 3-pointer. That's it. Alec Burks is not going to be playing a lot of minutes anymore if he continues to play like trash. I mean, guys, I've said it before on here it was either a week or two ago where I said I don't have high expectations of Burks, and that's still how I feel. I still feel that we shouldn't expect anything from him because he's just not the same guy from 2021 Burks. I think all of us are reminiscing on that Burks, who was a fourth quarter legend, and, he would hit those big shots for us. I don't think he's that same guy anymore at all. I think our expectations are too high. And look, he played 5 minutes tonight. Tibbs said if you're not going to play well, you're going to get that Fournier treatment. Soon it's going to be just benched, I'm kidding. I don't think he's getting benched. Tibbs loves Burks too much to completely bench him, but it might just be 5 minutes. Some games that he's not playing well. Brian said, I like Bogdanovich to come playoff time, timely shooting when teams double Randall and Brunson. We got to have dudes ready to hit threes and stretch the floor so Randall and Brunson can have space to operate. Exactly. Very, very, yeah, exactly. I agree with everything you said. And I think that it's going to be so deadly to have the weapons that we do. I mean, they are not going to be able to double team Randall or Brunson because they're going to kick it out to either DiVincenzo, Bogdanovich if he's on the floor, OG. They're going to kick it out to either of those guys, and hopefully they're going to knock it down. It's going to be really tough for our opponents, because we have a lot of guys who can actually score. Let's see. Yeah, I know I was just speaking about Burks, but we can't expect too much of him. Bogdanovich, on the other hand, I do have high expectations of to come off the bench and to score something decent, at least 10 points. We need bench scoring. He was a 20-point scorer in Detroit, so I expect him to hit shots when we need him to, and to create his own shot if we need him to as well. If guys tend to struggle, if Jalen Brunson's having an off night, we need other guys to step up and create their own shots. But pretty much spoke about everyone tonight. Shout out Josh Hart. Shout out Precious Achiuwa, Hartenstein, DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo struggled, but he did a little bit of the other things. Brunson. Shout out everyone. This was a good, solid team win. And I said it in the beginning, I'll say it again, this was a defensive win right here. I'll remind everyone that 74 points is what we held the Magic to, and that is the fewest points an NBA team has been held this season. So we set the record this season, guys. No other team has been held by this least amount of points. I mean, it was 77, I believe they mentioned before, but now it's 74. That's actually a big accomplishment. Let's look at some team stats over here. So, the Magic shot terrible from the three-point line. I mean, 6 for 26. They only made 6 three-pointers. That's 23% right there. Free throws, wow. That's a huge free throw disparity, and we still won. Magic shot 20 free throws. We only shot 8. We only shot 8 free throws, and we still won this game, and we still put up 100 points. Man, we got some talented people on our team. Let's see what else is here. Rebounds, we out-rebounded them, of course. And assists, got more assists than them. Steals were the same. Blocks were the same. I'm surprised. Total turnovers, we had more. Fast break points, we had more. That's what happens. Defense leads to offense. The defense will lead to those fast break points. And we also had more points in the paint. And our largest lead at one point was 26. They never had a lead this game. So that's what happens when you start off the games really well, shooting really well. You're able to hold a lead. To build a lead and then hold it. Brian said McBride unfortunately will lose minutes come playoff time. Tibbs trusts Burke over him as a backup point guard. I will hate to see that if that happens, Brian. McBride has been proving himself ever since we traded quickly away. McBride has stepped up and he's been proving himself. His shooting percentages this season have gone up. They've been impressive. His three-point shooting's up. If Tibbs chooses Burks over McBride in the playoffs for those backup point guard minutes, which won't be a lot, obviously, because Brunson's going to be playing the majority of the game, I will be very disappointed in Tibbs, unless Burks is somehow having the most amazing game and he's shooting in rhythm. Other than that, I don't want to see that happen, because at the end of the day, McBride is a better defender. a way better defender. And I just think you want the defense out there. You want the better defender out there. Let's see. But I've been live for an hour right now. So before I begin to close up, I will mention that if you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I think many of you are watching from Twitter because right now it says I have 274 viewers. I'm not sure why because I've never had that many this late. But if a lot of you are watching from Twitter, come over to our YouTube channel and subscribe, Big Nick Energy, and also like the video so we can get the thumbs up going up and more people can reach more people that way. As well, I have to mention that we do have merch. If you can see it right next to me at the top, it says shop bignickenergy.com. Check out the merch, guys. I think that Big Nick Energy has one of the best, if not the best, fan-made merch. There's some great designs on there that I'm sure you'll find one that you love. They're all very creative, and I think we literally have one for each player. So other than that, we play again on Sunday. Fun fact, guys, I am going to that game. So hopefully I get to witness a win in person. Last time I went against the Hawks this week on Tuesday, I saw them brick a lot and I saw them lose, unfortunately. So I need to win Sunday because I don't want to be bad luck. Because if they lose again Sunday, I'm not going to a Knicks game ever again. Can't be the bad luck. But hopefully they get the win Sunday. It's very interesting. They're playing the Sixers back to back at home, so it'll be Sunday and then Tuesday is the second time. Hopefully it's a good one and hopefully it's a win. Brunson's back. I'm expecting him to do his thing again. The Sixers are without Joel Embiid. They've been struggling without Embiid too. I haven't checked up on them recently, but last I checked, their record without Embiid is not too great. So I honestly think we'll be able to take that one. And maybe by then we'll have more news about OG and Julius Randle. Maybe more good news, updates that they'll be back sooner than ever. Last comment of the night, DeMario, salute. He said, great podcast as always, go Knicks. You're right. Go New York, go New York, go. We're not playing the Orlando Magic song. Not in here. But thank you again for everyone that tuned in and that commented. If you're watching on the replay, let me know in the comments. We read the comments after the stream is done too. Other than that, everyone have a good night. And I don't know if I'll see you after Sunday's game because I will be at the game. Maybe someone else will go live and do a post-game show. But have a great night, everyone.